Hello everyone. I know it's been so long since my last video, but I did want to do a little vlog and update everyone. First and foremost, some bad news. For those of you that know me, know my little family here, last Monday, which I think is the 17th? Yeah, I think the 17th, Opie passed away. In fact, I think I'm just gonna, pretty much make this almost all about Opie. A lot of you know that I had Opie, but really didn't know his story, and I just want to elaborate a little bit on that. I've tried to sit down and type out a blog, a live journal update, a Facebook note, and I just haven't been able to. Some of it is just dealing with the feelings because his passing is still very fresh, and for those of you that don't really know me that well, my dogs I really love. They're very much like my children. They're my support system. Holly and Opie got me through a divorce, a marriage, a divorce, 3 moves, a lot of hard stuff, and I've just been really, really close to them. So, I got Opie from Best Buddies Rescue in 2006, early November of 2006. Oddly enough, a year later, the rescue was actually investigated and then closed down because someone considered it a hoarding operation. When I first adopted Opie, he came to me with runny eyes and a runny nose because the rescue was located in the Inland Empire, and during that time there were some serious brush fires, so he came to me with bothered senses. He was also a little underweight, and he limped. So after a little bit of homework, I was giving him some supplements, some joint supplements. His limp went away. He was diagnosed with luxated patellas, which basically means that his knees would slip in and out of joint, as well as carpal laxity, so he was very flat-footed. Carpal laxity just means that his tendons were not tight. He had like loose tendons in his wrists and his ankles. Also worthy of note, when he came to me, he had an enlarged heart. When I first got him, I think it was about 15% bigger than it should have been. Over the next couple of years, it was business as usual. Opie was generally a healthy dog, very happy dog, affectionate, and just very in tune with me. He knew when I was sick, when I wasn't feeling good. He was just like most of our pets do, just awesome that way. He's always been a character. The whole time I've had him, he's been marginally housebroken. Honestly, he always seemed a little daft. I thought that maybe he was definitely abused in his former life, probably, hopefully, before he got to the rescue. And I think as a result, he kind of never really got housebreaking. That was no big deal. I just got him a buddy wrap with like an incontinence pad in it. So when I wasn't home, if he had an accident, it just went in the pad. It was never a problem. So that just kind of gives a little background on Opie, how I got him, and how he was. Last year, around December of 2010, I believe, his breathing changed. His breathing got a little shallow. He was kind of like a little more, Took him to the vet. It did an x-ray and found out that his heart was even bigger than it was. He had also, at that point, developed a heart murmur. Out of, I think, 6 is the loudest, 5 or 6 is the loudest. At that point, he was a 4. And his heart was enlarged probably, at that point, to about 20%. 20% bigger than it should have been. Because of the swelling, something with like the fluids got kind of in his lungs a little bit. We decided to just treat it with medication. He was on some diuretics. That's diuretics, not diuretics. Diuretics, as well as some heart medications, cough suppressant. We just kind of kept him medicated. kept him medicated sounds so bad. Just kept him on his medicines, monitored his food, his water intake, and everything like that. And he was okay. He was okay. He was doing well, you know, fine, very happy still. His quality of life was never bad. I had to begin to think about things because in the middle of this year, we had to step up a couple of his pills and put him on another diuretic as well. The vet kind of pulled me aside and told me, you know, he's in heart failure. His heart is not working very well. Well, it's working, but this isn't something that we can stop, but it's something that we can try and slow down and regulate with the medication, but you do need to keep in the back of your mind that this is not something that's going to go away, and there may be tough decisions to be made down the line regarding his quality of life, and if it comes to that, then you need to make the decisions for him and not for you. And no problem. So, we kept on the same program. Then there were a couple times when Opie decided that he didn't want to take his medicine or didn't want to take his food. I just remedied that by switching his food around, changing how I was giving him his medication. We got through it. We made it. He started losing weight. I started intentionally overfeeding him to up his calories. He started to gain a little bit back because his medication is, you know, based on his weight. So we didn't want too much weight loss because then we had to recalculate everything. Then a couple of weekends ago, he, again, stopped taking food and wouldn't let me medicate him. At that point, I really wasn't concerned because it wasn't new. He's done that, you know, in the past. And last Sunday, he just started acting a little funny. Sorry, Lucky Jack scared me. He was trying to go off and be by himself. I kept him around so I could keep an eye on him. At some point, I think he basically just lost his will. I'd like to think that I know him and my other two dogs very well, and he just decided, I think, that it was his time to go. I've gotten a little bit of criticism for not rushing him to the vet, but let me tell you something. He laid down and he looked at me, and I could tell that he just looked very vacant, and he would not have made the car ride to the vet. He wouldn't have made it. And I know for a fact that he would rather pass away here with his family than en route to the vet. I know it. I could tell immediately that he had decided to go. He laid down in bed. I petted him. I talked to him. And I told him, you know, I said, you know, go if you gotta go. And he went. He went. It was pretty quick. I don't know if any of you guys have had an animal pass in front of you. I had only dealt with rats in the past. When their little organs shut down, you know, they spasm a little bit. Opie did that a little. But he passed pretty much in my arms. In bed. With Holly and Opie right next to him. And he had his good old friend Holly with him and his new little friend Lucky. And he went loved. He went very loved. And he's really, really missed. I've been having a really hard time because so much of my day and so much of my time, you know, was dedicated to his care. And, you know, he played with both dogs, both Holly and Lucky, all the time, and now they still look for him. Like, okay, when is he coming home, Mom? When is he coming home? He was laid to rest at my parents' house in their backyard, which was one of his favorite places to visit. I had thought about having him cremated, before he passed, when it was something that, you know, I had thought about, but I decided against it. It felt right. So, it's been tough because I've been out of town for the past 4 days, not really had a lot of chance to, like, really grieve too much. He's still very much here, in that all of his medication is on the counter, his food is in the cupboard, his little incontinence pads are in the cupboard, his collar and leash, I just can't bring his bowl, I just can't bring myself to do anything with those yet, but, I just kind of wanted to give everyone a heads up. I hadn't been super present online, and that's why. So, I know a lot of you guys love me, and loved a new Opie, and if you didn't know him personally, then you've been, you know, just barraged with photos of him, but I've gotten a lot of support, and I want to thank everyone for that. Everyone takes losing a pet differently. My pets are not I don't own them, I'm just lucky enough to look after them. So, I just kind of wanted to talk about Opie a little bit, because I really haven't done much by way of talking about him or writing about him or anything. And it's been too hard. So I just wanted to share. Like I say, you know, I was lucky to have him for almost 5 years. And in that time, he was just like the best friend ever. And instead, I'm going to try and change my energy. I'm going to let myself miss him. I'm going to let myself grieve. The dogs are grieving as well. But I'm just going to kind of look on the bright side and think of all his little quirks and his amazing personality, and just remember how lucky I am to have known him for only 5 years. I could never have had him at all. And that would definitely be something worth crying about.